Hey crypto friends, for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Garrett and welcome to Altcoin Radar. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Kaspa charts and we're going to see where it might be headed, and we will cover both bullish and bearish scenarios as well, just to simply cover all of the possibilities. Now, for those of you who love trading crypto and would like to try out the same exchange that I use on a regular basis, feel free to go ahead and try out the Blowfin exchange with the link in the video description down below this video. Now, the big reason why I love using this exchange is because they allow anybody from anywhere to be able to sign up and trade crypto futures. So if you're from the United States and you want to trade crypto futures, you can do it right here on the Blowfin exchange. This is actually where I trade all of my crypto futures as well. So let's talk about Kaspa today. What's interesting about Kaspa is I really haven't looked into it personally as far as overall price potential in the long term. And when I looked at it this morning and I did the math on it from past price history, holy shit, guys, I was absolutely amazed. To be honest, I even posted about it on Twitter. If you would have bought Kaspa in the summer of 2022, pretty much right after it launched or around the time that it launched, at 0.0004 cents with just $1,000, you'd have about $425,000 right now in that project. That just absolutely blew my mind when I looked at this morning. I mean, look at this. Way back here, kind of, back when it launched or whatever, we were right around, that 0.00, way below a penny even. And if you were in this project and you got into it super early, holy smokes. I mean, to make that kind of a big gain in just a matter of 2.5 years, that's absolutely insane. So this tells me that this thing probably has a lot more room for growth in the long term, because as you guys can clearly see, this thing is just continuing its uptrend and continuing to go up higher and higher. So that is very cool to see. So let's go ahead and take a look at the daily chart and see what we got going on here. So as you guys can clearly see on the daily chart, we are literally following this very, very nice looking uptrend right now, which was awesome to see. I love seeing coins like this, especially when most other coins are literally just kind of like taking a slump to the downside. Kaspa has just been gaining momentum absolutely left and right. All right. But we do have to take a look at some things, because uptrends, they unfortunately do not last forever, and that's just kind of the reality of pretty much any market. So we have to look at this realistically, okay? So right now we have got a range high right here at right around, we're just going to say 20 cents. It's close enough. It's like 19.8 cents. And we've got a range low down here of right around 13 cents, all right? And we've also got our uptrend going on right here as well. And we have created some midterm resistance right up here as well, right around the 18.3 cent level. And that's kind of the level that we need to break here, or want to break here, before we can start thinking about being able to pass this 19.8 cent level. So what I could see happening here are two different things, okay? In a bullish scenario, what I could see happening here is either creating a new higher low right here where we are sitting right, kind of like right where we're at right now, and opening green tomorrow and breaking through this level and start heading upwards towards the current range high level here of 19.8 cents. Or another thing I could see is going down all the way down to the trend line, kind of like we did right in here and right in here, and going down, and back here as well, going back down to the trend line and kind of cooling off a little bit before gaining momentum again and bouncing off of it, and then going up to breach that level and start heading up and creating another new cycle high. All right, that's realistically what I see happening here in a bullish scenario if momentum stays strong in Kaspa and Kaspa wants to continue going up even higher. Now, in a bearish scenario, I mean, anything can happen in crypto. This is why I like to go through bearish scenarios as well, because anything can happen, and I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying it can. But I do like to go over a bearish scenario too, just in case. So if that were to happen, we're going to be looking at this trend line first, okay? So first of all, once we reach this trend line, we want to make sure that it doesn't go through. But if it does end up going through and we end up closing below it, and we end up closing very strong below it, my guess is we will end up eventually coming down to either this level right in here, right around the 14 cent level, or this level down here, way down here at 13 cents as well. Okay, now if that does end up happening, since this coin has all kinds of insane upward momentum and all kinds of holders that are holding this coin and consistently buying new coins on a regular basis as well, my guess is we will end up bouncing off of this level and continuing the trend back to the upside and creating higher and higher lows, going back up and eventually creating another cycle high as well. But the other thing that we want to look at here is the RSI. At least that's what I look at with my personal analysis that I do. And currently right now, price is above the moving average, which is very nice to see. We are technically in overbought levels, but we are starting to trend back upwards, and you can clearly see that in the slope of the little upward area right here we've got going on here on the RSI. All right, so if this thing can stay above the moving average here, I have no doubt that we will end up continuing higher and going back up to this midterm resistance level before end up reaching this big resistance level up here at 19.8 cents. All right, but if this fails and we end up coming back down and end up going below the moving average here in the RSI, my guess is we will end up coming back down and we will end up coming through the uptrend here and kind of cooling off for a while, which would be healthy. I mean, it's always healthy, to have market corrections, and eventually finding support right back down here again, and eventually, hopefully, we stop there and we create pretty much a double bottom down in this area. Oops, sorry, I kind of drew that in a shitty spot. Kind of create a double bottom in this area and go back upwards to the upside. All right. So realistically, that is what I personally see happening here with Kaspa in the mid to long term area. Now, another thing I want to point out here is the overall RSI as well. All right, the overall RSI is starting to trend downwards, as you guys can clearly see as well. So we want to make sure that if things are still bullish, it would be nice to see it breach through this trend line here as well, because if it does breach through this trend line, things are still pretty damn bullish, and we could eventually go back up to the upside at once again. All right, but if we continue to reject it all the way down and start trending all the way down again, that's going to further validate my whole view here of coming down to this 13-cent level once again. So guys, before I go ahead and wrap up this video, if you feel like you got some decent value out of it and you enjoyed this one, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button below the video to help me out here, and leave me a comment below on your personal thoughts on where you think Kaspa is going to go here in the short to mid-term. And with that said, guys, for those of you who watched this entire video throughout the whole thing, thank you guys very, very much. I appreciate all of you, and I hope to see all of you in my future videos.